Hey, welcome to the Red Pill Diaries. It's Craig. My phone is telling me I've got 15 minutes to talk. I have no idea why it just decides these length of videos, but anyway, it's started doing it lately. So where do I start in saying? Yeah, I want to speak about quickly. Let me turn this down a little bit. I want to speak about Dr Mikovitz, molecular biologist. So the reason why I want to talk about this video is because so many doctors around the world seem to think something's up, and it's not just I'm a physician or whatever it is. It's virologists, it's microbiologists, and in the case of this one here, it's a she's a molecular biologist. You know, there's a lot of these. They're people who have okay. I know people. I know quite a few people who are doctors who tell me things like, we are a specialist and we know what we're talking about, and they're not even in the field. You know, they're not even in that field. They're not even currently working or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's just insane. And then so there was a kind of discussion I had about vaccines the other day. I'm not even against vaccines. I'm not for it, not against it. But I respect people's right to be against it. And they were like, there's one guy who was like on his Facebook telling about how it was, you know, these people are idiots. And then he put something up about oh god, it was something to do with IT. And I thought, yeah, I'm kind of against that, but why are you against it? Given the fact that he's got no knowledge, you see what I mean? That's my point. Was he's having an opinion, he's getting angry at people forming an opinion on something that they're not qualified for, even though Bill Gates isn't qualified to be this global pandemic leader and Mr. Universe for all things medical, right? You're all supposed to just follow him. So a point I'm getting at is people who are choosing what they want to believe and what they don't want to believe. It's the same. It's confirmation bias in its rawest form, isn't it? You're looking for exactly something that says, there you go, or here's nothing. I shared with a different friend in London today this very video. Now the woman is hounded by the government. It's documented that she's been hounded by the government. They haven't had any proof against her, but they've held her in custody. That's all in documentation as well. That's all provable. And yet, straight away, rather than watching the video and seeing what the content, what the people has to say, the first thing they do is search who they are. I found this in the person. They spend 25-30 minutes researching the person before they watch a 5-minute, 10-minute or 30-minute video. And yet they won't spend 30 minutes researching the things the government have done, and the smoking guns the government have, and the big pharma have, for example, before they listen to what they've got to say. So do you see the different rules there? What you're doing is you're making the bar very, very high for the truth to come in, or the potential. Let's say I'm going to give them throw my bone here, the potential truth to come in, but you're setting the bar very low, if not subterranean, for the lies to come through, the propaganda. And it's like, you can't deny. I mean, we've got so many cases of government propaganda all around the world. We've got so many places, so many scenarios of police corruption, right? Of small government corruption, large government corruption, big pharma and other lobbyists paying money into governments in all sorts of countries in the world. In Australia, the fires recently, you got MPs selling water rights to Chinese companies. All these smoking guns, and they're right there on their documentation sometimes, unless they're actually blocked for their own good because they made the legislations. It just really grinds my gears how it's never a problem. It's never a problem to believe the people who we believed before. Who the examples that I give quite often are the Bay of Pigs, the Gulf of Tonkin, that started the lie that started the Vietnam War, the lies that started the war in Chile with what's his name, Pinochet. The amount of places that America, not just America, because it's I never. That's the thing I want to get across. I don't have a problem with America. I have a problem with governments in general, all around the world. Governments. because they're generally in cahoots with each other. You know, if something is going on and this is a pandemic, which I highly think it is, which I don't know for sure, but I highly think it is. I know I have as much information that tells me it's all contrived and all some nefarious plot as the people do that, as far as evidence and proof, as the people who believe it all, it's all true. I have the same amount of evidence they do, but they believe it's completely true. I'm not saying my doubts are 100%. I'm just saying that I highly doubt it, and based upon the way that governments and entities and corporations have acted before, and individuals as well. The example I gave with Bill Gates. Bill Gates has been nothing short of a CUNT since he came on the scene. If you see any of the interviews with any of his staff, or even just in passing, any reports, anyone who worked for him, he was a complete asshat, right? So I'm trying to swear less on this new channel. But basically, you know, even with Paul Allen, the guy who is really the brains behind everything that Bill Clinton did, Gates did. You know, he tried to screw him over. Him and the other partner were sitting there talking in the office. He heard them talking in the office about cutting him out. That's how greedy Bill Gates is. Even as a billionaire, he's still greedy. And then my friend tried to tell me today, the same guy who wanted to research as to why he shouldn't even watch the video before watching it. The same guy, and this is how I always see, good friend, good guy, great person, right? But, you know, will spend all that effort. He'll spend all that effort going in. Same as when I tell him anything about Scotland, he goes straight onto search mode, onto his laptop, right? Quickly Google, prove me wrong about it. I'm from Scotland. I've lived all around the world. I know that when I leave, I can be prosperous, and when I stay there, I can't find a job. My life is the proof. I don't need you to sit there and research Google. You know what I mean? Same kind of thing. Anyway. Lost my place now. So yeah, in the case of this medical situation, you know, if we have to sit there and endure all the bullshit about them telling us to be locked down and why I need to be locked down and why social distancing, well, I'm gonna hear the other side of the argument. And the other side of the argument, I've heard from many different physicians and various other specialists who say the same thing. Immunity, people who understand about immune responses, right? And that is, if you quarantine yourself for long enough, like Bubble Boy, your immune system will get weaker and weaker. It's the same thing. Like, if I don't go to the gym for a year and then try to lift what I did after pumping iron for a year, you'd probably end up with a bar across your neck, calling for someone to help you in the gym, looking like one of those idiots that you end up trying to lift too much in the gym, right? It's the same kind of thing. Your brain, you don't use it, you become dumber. Your immune system, you don't use it, it's probably going to become weaker. If you're mopping up, not just that, you're isolating and you're mopping every surface and wiping your hands. If I didn't know any better, I would say we're being set up to, one, furnish the pockets of people who produce all these things, like Johnson & Johnson and Lever, I can't be bothered to think of the company's name. Lever Rexona, yeah. But that's the throwaway. Here you go, friends. There's a couple of little things here, but the big agendas are something else. The big agendas might be to make you so that when you come out again, see everybody, you wanted to end the lockdown, naughty children, and look what happened to you. Look what happened if you don't listen to big old uncle. Give me your uncle's boob to suck on. That's what the government's always like. That's why I cannot stand the whole nanny state thing, right? That's what it's like. Uncle so and so knows best, right? Well, I reckon what's going to happen is we're going to end up in a big pandemic again, and they're going to blame us for it, because they already blame us when it's not our fault. Like, you know what I mean? This is what I think we're lining up to. Anyway, I'm going to put a link to this video. I'm not going to speak too long on this one. Just 9 minutes. Here we go. I'm done. Right. But just beware of being one of those ignoramus asshats who listens to everything the government has to say without question, not one question, never, ever, ever. Look, it must be for some good reason. They must have a basis. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't do. These people who we don't even fucking know. Sorry, damn it, I swore. Oh well. These people don't even, it's not going to do any good not swearing in this new channel, is it? It's just not going to happen. Anyway, I'll just carry on. When I get told, when I say they, and then people, they think they're being really smart by saying, who's they? Well, no, I don't know. Who's always they? They. Let's say they. Right. And then they'll use the same they themselves. Well, they wouldn't do that. Well, who do you know in government? Well, Boris Johnson? Yeah, who else? He's not really doing the work, is he? No. You don't really know anyone, do you? You don't know if they would do it. You don't know if they've got one of their kids locked up in a basement in their fucking house. You don't know shit. So, be just as questioning. That's why I like RT.com. Even though the news can be a bit propagandized, the shows on it are great. But I like the fact that their phrase is question everything. No, question more. But you should question everything. And I do. I question what I see. I'm not just reading you things and going, right, that's it. This woman said that. But I look at, there's no smoke without fire. I look at what agenda she has. So my friend was saying, oh, she wrote a book. Oh, that's it, she wrote a book. Never mind the trillions of dollars Big Pharma are going to make her book, making her a little bit of money here, and her sincerity that she seems like, and the fact that they actually put her in jail, and that's documented. That must have all just been something that she was just planning. Just to do a book eventually after going through the situation that she didn't know she was going to go through. And my friend said, oh, maybe just steal the documents. What the fuck are you talking about? Sorry, you'll need to watch this before you understand what I'm talking about here. But basically, they're accusing her of certain things. They're all big nothings. And what it really comes down to is, you have come against us. We have an agenda. Even if the agenda isn't nefarious. You can't come clean about it. You can't have open debate about the doubts that a microbiologist or a molecular biologist has. Why not? Why not put it to rest? Because surely if it's science, and science is about running tests and seeing the results, you come up with. It's not about laws and theories. It's about testing. That's what science is. You test it. You go back. You measure, test. Right? So don't be a hypocrite. There's very same rules that you expect everyone to adhere to when obeying the government narrative is the same rules that you should adhere to when you look at any counter narrative or dismiss it, as the truth may be, with your shutdown phrases like conspiracy theorist. Well, here's a conspiracy theory right now. If you say that all these thousands of doctors all around the world in many different countries, most of whom don't even know each other, if you think that they're into some kind of collusion among each other to say that this is all not true, then you're a fucking conspiracy theorist. Ha ha ha! Fuck you.